Good day, everyone. Wherever you may be, I'd like to thank you for taking time in tuning in to this broadcast. So, today we'll be starting our intermediate to advanced Revit journey. As I have announced in social media, we'll be discussing a little bit more of advanced Revit architecture, some basic to intermediate structural Revit, and a little bit more of the basic of MEP in Revit. And much more we'll be discussing on the workflow as we use these days, as we use BIM for our projects. So hold on to your seats and grab something to eat, have some drink, and let's enjoy this learning session. So for the purpose of our intermediate to advanced training, I'll be using the advanced sample from Revit. So if you can see the saved path, it is located in the same folder where the basic architecture sample is. So the basic architecture sample is this one that we always show in previous videos that we have presented. So this time we'll be going advanced, intermediate to advanced. So let's use this another sample from Revit. Let's open it. Okay, so before we continue and do a little bit of modeling and instruction on our Revit session, as you will notice, I'm now using Revit 2023. This is a trial version for now, but eventually I'll get the education version, as I have been approved by Autodesk as an educator or as an instructor. So there are a few points that I'd like to discuss on the new things in Revit. I have it noted here, just to make sure that I don't miss anything. So this has been also discussed by other sharers, in YouTube and even in the Autodesk website. What are the new things in Revit 2023? So para po sa mga arkitekto at inhinyerong Pilipino, let us discuss it a little bit more. And if you have some questions, please do not hesitate to type it into the chat box, and if we have time tonight, we'll be answering them live, and if not, we'll be reserving those answers for tomorrow's broadcast. So Revit 2023 again is available online to be downloaded as a trial version, which will give you a 30-day validity. And if you are an educator or you are studying in an Autodesk authorized training center, you can get an education version good for 1 year. That also applies for students of architecture programs in various universities and colleges there in the Philippines and even abroad. You can apply for an education license, provided that you upload your proof of registration as a student. Okay, proof of registrations are ID and registration cards. Okay, so let's jump into Revit. So if you notice, Revit 23 is no different than the previous versions. The striking difference that we can notice, anyone can notice, are the blue ticks here in the project browser. Okay, so the boxes that are highlighted in blue means that these are views that are already used or are already assigned to specific sheets. So that means the entry-level floor plan, the section, the typical wall section, and some of these views are already in the sheets. So let's look at the sheets that we have. We have only two sheets here in this sample project. Let's open A1 floor plan. So you will notice this is the entry level view. Okay, you will see the data here. This is the entry level view, floor plan entry level. You can see here, if I delete that view, the view becomes, this becomes white. The blue highlight is removed. So if I bring it back here, just drag it and drop it, it becomes highlighted again. Okay, so that is one of the features of Revit 2023. If I bring in another floor plan, so obviously that's highlighted again. Okay, so there's another feature which is called the swap view. Okay, so for now, originally we had that entry level view here. If you don't want to remove and put back another view, what you can just do is click on that view, and then here in the modify viewport tab, we have an option to change it to another view. So if we have the entry level, just click the entry level right there, and instantly you already have replaced the view that is required. Okay, so let's have a little bit of another example, maybe a small view that we have. That's fine. Okay, so then the next good example, the next good update done in 2023 version is this. Now if we go to the 3D view, you can now use the measure tool while you are in the 3D view. So if you click on the measure, this wall reveal, if you wanted to measure the size of this wall reveal, you can just click on measure. From here to there, it is doing the measurement. So that's 4096. You're talking about millimeters. Okay, from here to here, that's 152. So that is another feature of Revit 2023. Another feature, good feature of Revit 2023 is you'll be able to change work plane instantly. So we have the work plane here. Before, you only have this set work plane. Now you can just pick a plane. That at least saves you one step to set up a plane. If you click that, you can just click this plane. You have to show it. Okay, so right now make sure that you show it. So set, pick a plane. So let's say we get this plane. Okay, so now there is your plane. You can just extend it right there. Okay, you want to change the plane, maybe move it up here. Again, do the same thing. Set, pick a plane. If we do this, so that is now our plane. It's a slightly sloped plane, as you know. And if you want to change the plane to this, double click the escape and set and pick a plane right here, maybe in the road area. Yeah, there. Okay, so now we have our plane right there. There are a few more new features, like in the MAP section. In the Systems tab, you now have another category, which is mechanical control device and mechanical equipments. So if you're working in MEP, or if you have worked intensively in Revit MEP, you would know the difference, which category mechanical equipments are, and what are the devices that falls under the mechanical control. That goes the same for the plumbing fixture and plumbing equipment. So with this image, you can see that the water heater is a plumbing equipment, and the plumbing fixture is those WCs. There are a few more improvements also in structural part of Revit, and we'll get to see them as we go on in the next sessions. So that's the first part of this broadcast. I'll see you in a while after this short break. Guys, thank you for staying online, and thank you for keeping up with me in this Revit session. If you are a beginner in Revit and you would like to freshen up on what you have learned in your training session earlier, or what you have learned from your school, or what somebody have taught you, please feel free to check out my channel. I already have several playlists that you can follow, where you can learn the basic of Revit architecture and structure. Alright, so back to Revit 2023. Let's just look at the contents of the software that you have just downloaded, particularly the library, the sample library, so we can have an idea of what or how we can use Revit for our presentations and even for our construction. Let's look at the samples that are located here. Sorry, let's open. In the samples folder, we have a couple of new projects here. I think this looks like projects from Germany. As you know, Revit is a powerful tool that you can use not only for documentation, but from the concept to the presentation, and even to high level presentations of big projects. So let's look at this project. It's called BIM project, Golden Nugget Architecture. So it seems like this came from Germany. So all credits to the author of this project. So this is his cover page, showing some renderings, realistic renderings, some 3D views, some cutaway 3D views, some details, and some other details here. So if you look at the project browser, obviously this is a German project. We don't know what those means, but judging from our experience, of course 3D views, that's easy. Let's look at the here. Looks like these are floor plans of maybe level 1. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so this is a floor plan of probably basement level, because we have some parking areas here. Let's look at these. Okay. No, these are another level. So seems like the building is multi-story, has a multi-story parking. Let's go straight to the 3D view so we can get to know what the project is all about. Okay. So it looks like it's could be a renovation of an existing building where they added some new features. So if we put on our section box, we can probably see more of it. Where's our section box? Okay, section box is quite big. Yes, you can adjust it. You're watching our live Revit session, guys. I have pre-recorded this part, and then later on I'll be able to join you for some question and answers, and so we can know more on what our subscribers, what our followers want to learn more. Yeah, so this looks like multi-story unit attached to an existing building. Okay. Interesting. So we might have the same situation there in the Philippines or wherever you may be, because obviously restoration is very important. Once you have buildings that have been built years ago, you wanted to preserve them as much as you can, and so I think this is the case with this project. Yeah, and maybe they did some improvements on some of the elements. And this is the parking unit. We have some structural components that are already shown here. So this is just one of the samples that is included in your bundle. Let's close the project, and you don't need to save it. Let's open another one. This is it's also the golden nugget, but it says Jibidu technique. Oh, let's just look at it. Seems like the project is not that small, that's why it's taking time to the process to open. So ideally, if you are starting in BIM, if you can afford to buy a supercomputer that would have 64 GB RAM and some really maybe i9 processors, that would really be highly recommended. So this looks like that building, and let's try to open. If you can see the standards that they have there, they have this long drawing papers. I don't know what size this is. Okay, but it seems like it's something that you can fold. You can fold into two. So let's take a look at the 3D of this, at the 3D view of this project. Now it's so this project shows the location of the project, this project in the urban context. No? So they modeled the existing elements there in massing, and model it in massing. Okay, if we can just check on the linked file, if there are linked files here, let's go to manage and check the links. If we have CAD formats, nothing. So there are no link files, so they did everything here, but there are some images that are included. These are rendered views that are probably shown in one of the sheets. Okay, in this project there are 3 sheets, so it's like a structural plan which is on different phases. Let's open the first one. Okay, so this looks like phasing of the structure. So I'm just showing this to you so that you'll get an idea of how you can present your project as you do it in Revit. Before, we're using other softwares and using combination of various software to come up with presentations such as this. Now Revit has it all. You can use it for your conceptual designs, especially for students who are doing their thesis. This is the one software that is very helpful for you, not only for your project, but after you graduate, once you were able to use this extensively during your college days, you'll be ready for the actual practice. Let's just close this file. I have a couple of more files that I'll be sharing. Let's open. Now these are very interesting project. This is a high-rise project, but it's in Chinese. So it looks like this is the architectural file, and this is the structural file, and the third one is the MEP file. Looks like we are able to put them together. So let's just open this. This is the architectural model. Then we'll try to bring in the structural and the MEP model and put them all together. Shoutout po pala sa mga kaibigan natin arkitekto sa Pampanga with the PIA Pampanga section. Maraming salamat. And to our friends in Cavite, also the PIA Greater Cavite section led by their very masipag na presidente, Architect Aris Llanto, and for the Pampanga we have Architect Mike. And of course, shout out to our Institute President, Ma'am Ossie Alfonso, for spearheading the Institute with greater coverages and more membership and more activities. Okay, so there's a note that's in Chinese. Let's just go straight to the 3D view and let's see what happens. Okay, so this is 8-story building complete with the structural components. So it seems like everything is already placed in once you open the architectural file. Now let's go back to manage and open manage link. Now you'll see that this is a linked Revit model, so that's the structural model. I think the MEP is not yet loaded, so let's try to load in the MEP model. How do we do that? You see, this is a big file. Medyo nagahang tayo. I'm using a laptop that is 10 years old, and it's an i7 processor, but one of those early versions. I have 32 GB RAM, but when we have projects like this, it still hangs. I think looks like we have to wait for longer, which I do not recommend for us. So let's pause for a short break, and we'll be right back.